Hey homeberries, today I'm going to do another SpongeBob SquarePants review. This is an early episode, but it's always been one of my favorites. It's called Suds. So it opens up with SpongeBob asleep in bed. He's having a dream that it's raining Krabby Patties. So there he is, just shoveling Krabby Patties into his mouth. And he wakes up, and there he is with his pillow in his mouth. That's reminiscent of old jokes. There's a joke. I dreamt that I ate a giant marshmallow, and when I woke up, my pillow was missing. I think there was also a Garfield strip in which he dreamed about eating pancakes, and when he woke up, his blanket was gone. It was something like that. So SpongeBob spat out his pillow, and can we just take a moment to drink in that that's a legitimate sentence in SpongeBob? So he spat out his pillow, and he decided to go downstairs to make a late night snack. He tiptoed past Gary so he wouldn't wake up his pet. It was actually adorable. So, oh, sleep tight, my little angel. So he went to the fridge to make a peanut butter. It being SpongeBob, of course, it's peanut butter. He goes to make a peanut butter and jellyfish jelly sandwich. Said, "Oh, there's nothing that gets me to sleep faster." Apparently that was true because he took a bite and well, he had left the refrigerator open. Now, in real life, that will not cool off the house. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll just leave the fridge open to cool my house, that'll be great, I'm afraid to say it won't work. So it's like the unofficial sequel to Radiation will not give you superpowers. Leaving the fridge open will not cool your house. If you want to get a little rest from the heat, open the fridge door, stand there for a few seconds, and then close it. If you leave your fridge door open, I read how this works one time, but it'll actually make the house warmer if you leave your fridge door open for an extended period of time. Plus, the food could spoil. If you have any fruit flies, they could get into your fridge. So yeah, just don't leave the fridge door open. Now that public service announcement is over, fridges work differently on SpongeBob SquarePants, because what happened from him leaving his fridge door overnight was everything was just frozen solid the next morning. The TV was frozen solid, and the poor news anchor was just shivering with his teeth chattering. Oh, SpongeBob woke up and he realized, oh, the fridge. So he slid over on the frozen floor to close the door. He sneezed so forcefully that he just skidded across the floor and up the stairs and into bed. His bed was frozen too. He fell onto the bed and his nose got frozen. He pulled himself loose and tried to cover himself with the blanket, and it was just stiff and brittle, so he pulled it up and it shattered into pieces like an icicle falling off the gutter. Oh, there the poor guy was shivering, and he didn't look good. He looked pale. So Gary asks, meow? Says, no, Gary, I'm a sponge. I don't get colds. I get the suds. Meow? Well, no, if I had the suds, I'd have bubbles coming out of me. Achoo! He sneezed and a bunch of pink bubbles shot out of his pores. Gary tried to convince him to stay home, looking out for him. So it's nice how they care for each other, and that's even more reason to dislike episodes that don't have that. So that there they were caring for each other, and SpongeBob insisted, "No, I can't be sick. I'll have to miss work." Now that genuinely is a concern among some people I know. SpongeBob wanted to go because he liked working at the Krusty Krab, but there are people who want to go to work even though they're sick because they think, oh, if I don't work, I can't make money. I need money to pay bills. So it really is a consideration. That's why there are some places that offer or are encouraged to offer paid sick leave. Like if you have an issue, then don't come to work where you might spread germs or where you'll be too sick to do a good job. Just take a couple days off. You'll get some compensation. So that's a debate to be had. Well, SpongeBob insisted he was good enough to go. He tried to disguise that he had bubbles. He pulled up his underwear, and his underwear filled up with bubbles. And despite Gary's protests, he said, "No, I'm going into work." So he went to the Krusty Krab, and he didn't do a good job. The poor guy could barely stand at one point. Now, this was early on, so it was back before they made Mr. Krabs evil. "Yeah, SpongeBob, what's wrong with you? You're paler than a baby seahorse." And Gary showed up just to narc on him. "Meow! The Suds?" Poor SpongeBob was on his hands and knees being so weak that, "No, I can do that." He sneezed and blew the patty ingredients all over Mr. Krabs. Like, "All right, that's it. You're too sick to work." SpongeBob wanted to stay. Said, "No, you're going home. I can't have you sneezing all over the food." And the customers, "Oh, someone's sneezing on the food," and they panicked. So could we just take a moment to appreciate how the fish in Bikini Bottom know more about germs than some people do? So there SpongeBob was at home, just droopy, in bad shape. At one point, one of his eyes started to roll down, and he just popped it back in like, "Oh, there we go." He admitted, "Oh, who am I kidding? I got the Suds bad." So he called Sandy. It is telling that he called Sandy and not Patrick. And also, he knew right away. Well, Squidward was at work, though. Never mind. He knew to call Sandy. So there Sandy was in her tree dome running on a treadmill. So, "Hello? Sandy, I need to go to... I have this... I'm sick. Can you escort me to the doctor?" Said, "Oh, sure, SpongeBob." So Sandy, again, wholesome, genuinely concerned about SpongeBob. "I'll be faster than a jackrabbit on a hot, greasy... Okay, Sandy, thanks." So he got ready to go to the doctor. He got bundled up. I thought, wait, pale skin, lifeless blue eyes, a hat? Oh my gosh, he looks like Eminem in 8 Mile. Well, Patrick paid him a visit. Yes, what was going on? Said, "Oh, I have the Suds. Sandy's going to take me to the doctor." Now, the thing about Patrick, he really is a good friend to SpongeBob, but he oftentimes just screws it up. There are times when it's like the dichotomy of Patrick, the two faces of Patrick. Sometimes he's helpful and caring, and other times he's just callous and selfish and makes the whole thing worse. So Patrick, you're either going to have a supportive friend that you can have fun with and commiserate with too, or you're just going to have a selfish lummox who screws it all up. Patrick told him, "Oh no, you can't go to the doctor." And he painted this picture that they make you read old magazines and they have this icy cold stethoscope that'll burn you. So that made SpongeBob scared. Said, "No, I don't want to go to the doctor." Patrick said, "Oh, I'll take care of you." He said, "Oh, well, the suds are coming from these holes." So he plugged up all of SpongeBob's holes with corks. Did it work? I don't know. Let me see. So he sneezed, and he didn't have the bubbles didn't pop out because they had nowhere to go. But since he was building up pressure, he got bigger, and he rounded out, just blew up like a balloon. Said, "Oh, hey, it's working." And Patrick said, "Oh, good, I'm going to call Sandy and tell her not to come." Well, she insisted on coming anyway. He said, "Oh, Sandy's coming. We have to make sure you're better," which I think is sort of an admission that he knew SpongeBob wasn't all better. He had treated one of his symptoms, but the underlying cause was still there. So he tried various treatments. Like I think he pulled out one of SpongeBob's teeth. Like, what's that supposed to do? So sadly enough, there was this guy who tried this. Like this, I don't know if he even had a medical license. I sure hope not. But he thought teeth made people sick, and admittedly, if an infected tooth really can cause illness and other problems. But this mofo was just pulling out healthy teeth. Like, "Oh, are you better now?" It's like, what is wrong with you? I apologize for getting on such a morbid tangent there. He had a giant bandage. This Mac keeps wanting to roll up. He had a giant bandage. "Is it better now?" "No," and he pulled the bandage off. "Ow!" Put it. How about now? "No." "Ah!" So when Sandy came, it looked like he had SpongeBob in a dungeon and was going to pour oil or something down his throat. I don't know what was going on. But Patrick insisted, "No, SpongeBob's..." Oh, well, first he tried to cover up SpongeBob. SpongeBob was big and round, like I said, so Patrick tried to disguise him as his rock, except the rock was still there. Said, "Patrick, since when do you have two homes?" "Oh, I needed some place to put my stuff." "Why does your second home have feet?" "Well, it's my mobile home," which admittedly was a good line from Patrick. Well, SpongeBob sneezed and "Oh, hey," and Patrick tried to play it off. The dirt therapy is working." Sandy insisted, "No, he needs a real doctor." "No, he's fine. Go ahead." And SpongeBob, and he had such foul, germ-laden breath, it like wilted plants and caused scallops to fall down. I hope fainted and not dead. Said, "See, he's worse than I thought." So she tried to get SpongeBob away from Patrick and told him, "You ought to be arrested for impersonating a doctor," which he really should have. And SpongeBob got away and rolled down all the way to the Krusty Krab. He stopped just before he would have bulldozed into it. Mr. Krabs breathed a sigh of relief, but then SpongeBob sneezed. Well, he had stretched out as far as he could, so the corks just shot out of him, and the corks and bubbles and forceful sneeze air wrecked the Krusty Krab. So there SpongeBob was sitting there sick, and Mr. Krabs was just glaring at him like, "Really, boy?" Well, SpongeBob finally got to the doctor. I need to blow my nose soon. SpongeBob finally got to the doctor. "You're not going to make me read old magazines, are you?" Says, "No, you get the sponge treatment." "Oh, Hans." So the hand from the introduction grabbed SpongeBob, and it cut to live action scenes with a hand and a yellow sponge. The doctor squirted SpongeBob with soap and lathered him. And I think SpongeBob said, "Oh, that tickles." Well, he used SpongeBob to clean things, like he scrubbed someone's back and feet. "Oh, this is great, I can smell again." And he washed a car and some dishes and a floor. Yeah, all right. So he finally wrung SpongeBob out and rinsed him. So there SpongeBob was back to normal. Says, "Oh, I feel great." So then he got a giant lollipop. So SpongeBob was in great shape. He's back to normal. Well, Patrick saw that SpongeBob got a lollipop, so he blew a bubble. "Oh, hey, Doc, I got the Suds, too." Well, SpongeBob and Sandy had told what Patrick had done, so the doctor, "Oh, yes, we have a special treatment for you, Dr." I forget if he called him Dr. Star or Dr. Patrick, but "we have a special treatment for you." So the live-action hand grabbed the pink starfish. Looked like he sort of, I don't know if manhandled is the right word, but he was handling Patrick roughly while soaping him up. "Oh, hey, that hurts." And then he used him to clean a cactus. Oh. And then at the end he used him to clean a toilet. "Well, wait, this is not the same ride." So, like I said, I've always thought that's a great episode. There's a lot of humor in it, a lot of good lines, and it really says a lot about the characters. Like Sandy is tough, but she's also caring and dependable. Patrick means well a lot of the time, but he doesn't really know what he's doing, so he'll screw it up. So I think it was also sending the message. I could be wrong, because some things are funny and have a message, and some things are just meant to be funny. I think it was also saying, "Oh, hey, if something's wrong, go to the doctor if you can, get someone to help you," that sort of thing. Also, don't trust anyone who says they're a doctor. Their Patrick was playing doctor. There's a famous scene, he washes his hands, says, "Don't touch me, I'm sterile." So that sad moment you realize that Patrick was a better doctor than the people who treated President Garfield, but that's a story for a different time. So, yeah, just thought it was a good episode. It was funny. It was well done. So, easily my top 3 SpongeBob episodes. Yeah, definitely top 3. I think there are 4 or 5 episodes of SpongeBob I'd say are my favorites. That one probably is my favorite of all time, Suds. So, that's all. Have a blessed day, everybody, and may any cases of Suds that you have heal quickly. Have a blessed day, everybody.